Welcome to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this, third day of April here. Got the man New Yorker. He hasn't got in yet, but I'm sure he'll be here shortly. And, listen, folks, I know I'm out of Nashville, Tennessee. Thoughts and prayers with Nashville, Middle Tennessee. People across the southeastern part of the United States. We had some flood issues here. Held me up at work today. Had a few roads I had to go around. Thinking about you all that had more flood damage in your home and whatnot. And sorry, this comes up every show here lately with Roku. But we got a great show with you for tonight. Torpedo bats. Wow, Aaron Judge now has his fifth home run. Yankees are knocking him out of the park. Now, he's not using these bats. But going to talk a little bit about that with the man New Yorker as well. And we'll go over the Final Four, get his thoughts on the Final Four. He said he hit 70% of his picks. Deion Sanders signed an extension. Didn't get a chance to talk about that yesterday. Very much surprised that he did so. Also, I want to thank Sean Pollard, Coach Pollard, coming in last night. If you get a chance to check out that show, I'm going to replay that one tomorrow and again next week. That was a really good interview from St. Louis assistant football coach Sean Pollard. Very good interview. Very good interview. We've got Matt New Yorker backstage, by the way, and more. So let's stand by. Let's take our first and only break. We'll be back here momentarily. We'll hit the ground running here on the Real Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program.
I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. You're watching the sharp-dressed man and the big story breaker, Robert Butler, on Sports Scope, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on National Streaming Sports. Thanks.
All righty then. I'm back here live. Mad New Yorkers is backstage, but he has stepped away from his. Oh, no, there he is. Okay, he's back in here. Let's give him a round. Man, we're not worthy. Hey, man, how you doing tonight, Chief?
What up, man? Happy Thursday, man. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Thursday at last. Yeah, good to have you on the program. Yeah, a lot of bad weather here. I hope your dad's okay. Is he still in Clarksville?
Yeah.
Okay. Had some storms here, man. Flooding down here in Nashville, tornadoes and everything. Could be worse, but it's pretty bad in spots.
Yeah, I heard Springfield had a tornado the other day as well. So it's like, you guys just be careful down there in the Southland and everywhere else that there's bad weather. You just gotta be careful.
It's something down here. Yeah, it really is. Wanted to get your thought. Now, you sent me this thing about your Final Four. Now, is this your 50th bracket or is this your 51st bracket?
That's
that you have this 70% winning percentage on.
That was the 151st bracket. Now that was the very that I was trying to share with you, but it wouldn't load up. So
Okay.
That was the
I looked at it, and you had a national champion was different from the one you said on the program. Wasn't that one?
When I say Alabama?
No, you said Auburn on the program.
Yeah, I have Auburn there as a winner.
On this one?
Yeah.
I thought you had, according to this, it says that New York, Auburn is a winner. Okay, yeah. All right. You have Auburn over Duke. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is the right one. All right. I could have swore you had like Houston winning.
You got to skim through my epilogue and the 150 chapters before you get to the right. I mean, we as sports fans sometimes we get crazy and make all these brackets. So
you went with total chalk with the Final Four.
Yeah. Good
pick there, Chief. That's a good starting place. What's your thoughts about Houston? I know we praised Calvin Sampson the other day. Man, that was a great defense he put on Tennessee. I was really impressed. Best defense in the country statistically coming in. But they lived up to it, man. They got past Gonzaga. They beat Tennessee. What's your thoughts on their run so far?
I love it. That's like when you have a foundation to build on in its defense, you can do a lot of things, but it's not just that they're good on defense. They're good at the putbacks. They're good at the rebounding, and they're good at just flying up and down the court. And they're deep, which helps them because in years past they've gotten close to this level, not nearly there, and they weren't able to finish off those games in the last 2 years. So this is a good time for them, man. It's a really good time for them and exciting. It's good for the school like Houston to be back in college basketball as a forefront basketball team, after Phi Sigma Gamma, it's good to have them in the mix of things. They're about as mid-conference as you're going to get. So, it's good for the history of basketball and to see them back, so.
Yeah, they had two elite players back in the day. It's for our time, but I'm aware of that Phi Sigma Gamma. Keith Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, if I'm not mistaken, played on the same team. I mean, wow. We know what type of NBA players those guys were, especially Akeem. Let's see. What's your thoughts on Duke's run so far? Man, they're starting to look like Connecticut did last year, don't they, a little bit, with their margin of victory?
Yeah, and I was under the impression Leggett was the only player that they have, but they're pretty deep. Very surprisingly, they are all it's a balanced team on offense and defense. So I give credit. You gotta give credit due on coaching staff and also the players for playing out on the court. I mean, this isn't a team this is a real team. So they're scary, and so. I like that they've gotten this far. I usually don't pick Duke or North Carolina to go past the Elite Eight. That's just been something I haven't done for the last 8 to 10 years. But now this is a good team. And it's kind of sad to say because I'm not a big fan of Duke, but I'm a fan of basketball. So it's good. It's good that they're competing, and it's good to see that on the court, man.
Are you surprised that John Shire has taken this baton from Mike Krzyzewski? Because there was an indication that Coach K was really just and I questioned it myself because we didn't know. Duke was never really a powerhouse before Coach K, not like a North Carolina, a Kansas, a Kentucky. Multiple coaches have won national championships there. Are you surprised? Or did you expect this baton to be passed this smoothly? Now, they haven't won it yet, but, man, they got a great team, and they're in the Final Four.
Yeah. And what helps is their name brand, their university, and that kids still dream about attending that university as young kids. So when they get the opportunity and it's there and they take it. But it's hard in any sport to replace a stalwart and a head coach that's been a winning head coach that has
he's one of the greats of all time.
Yeah, like Coach K. So if you get that opportunity and and this guy's done what he's been doing. Granted, like you said, they haven't won anything yet, but this is probably as smooth as it's going to be. Even for UNC, it hasn't been it's been like kind of bumpy. So it's tough that
Roy Williams, yeah,
it's tough that in that conference there was two great coaches within a 3 to 5 year span that left, and especially a Power 5 school, a big brand school, Nike schools, like all those things matter, man. It's not just basketball; it's brand recognition. You know how it is, and so it's business. So he's done a remarkable job. Duke is being competitive, and it's good for the tournament. It's the first time the number one seeds are all in, right?
Well, since 2008 for the audience there. Yeah. First time all number one seeds. It's a chalk tournament. I like it. I love it. Want more of it. That's a country song from back in the day. But this is what we're talking about the other day. This is NIL, Carlos, really taking its toll here in a good way. And man, I tell you what, I cannot wait, even though I'm going to be driving a lot, not unless it's a tornado one, because we got storms here in Nashville all weekend. We're not out of the woods. We're like just in the middle of the woods right now. But I cannot wait for these games coming up on Saturday. I'm going to record them and watch them. Houston and Duke, that's going to be a great game. This was a close game last year in the tournament. Obviously, I have the edge to Duke here. But still, Razor's a tough team. But going back to this Duke question, doesn't it, in a sense, doesn't Schneier kind of remind you of Ryan Day a little bit? Because honestly, I did not think Ryan Day would be able to bring in the kind of players and keep those. I know it's a lot of NIL, but still, to keep these players here and win a national championship. Remember, he's following a guy like Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer has one of the greatest winning percentages in the history of college football. 3 national championships to go with it.
Right.
It kind of reminds me of a little bit of Ryan Day taking over at Ohio State, if you think about it.
Yeah, in a sense. And you have to give credit where credit's due. They've gotten the recruits. They've gotten been able to
get them to buy in.
Yeah, get into the dance. So all that is credit to the coaching staff, administration, and then the student athletes who have to put in the work. So there's just they're edgy. This Duke team is edgy, and I'm not sure a Coach K team would have been like this. Coach K's teams are usually finesse. They're usually just like
but they play good D.
They're rugged, but they're not edgy like this. This team is
they're not Connecticut edgy. No.
Yeah, like so, so it's still good. It's good for them, and it's good basketball, and they still have a chance. But I'm not sure how much and how far they'll go. But that coaching staff, they've done a really good job. To be honest with you, and again, this is coming from a guy. I'm not a big Duke fan. Nor do I favor UNC, but that's, it's good for the ACC for sure.
Yeah. Didn't you tell me you had Tennessee in the Final Four? I had to go back and play that.
No, I had them in the Elite Eight.
I had to go back. Hold on, let me go see. Hold on. Let me go back to the tape. You almost got over on me on that one. Let me go back to the tape here because I got the clip here. Hold on, let me see.
Don't forget to tip your.
Oh, that was my rant on Uber drivers.
I didn't have St. John's going past the Elite Eight.
Hold on, brother. I got you.
Tennessee
I might not have your quote.
They could have saved.
Hold on, I got it.
I think they'll sign it. And that's
wait a minute. It might be at the beginning.
Yeah. What I said was I would like to see St. John's play Tennessee.
Okay, but let me see.
Don't forget to.
I keep going back to that one.
His numbers count.
Hold on. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it in here. I think in a court of law here, in a court of the program, I think you said you had Tennessee in this Final Four.
You don't forget to.
Sorry. Calvin Sampson love.
Cincinnati's become
Cincinnati stuff.
Hey, they could have
Rams model.
Tennessee and Auburn.
Oh wow.
You said Tennessee. Here.
Okay.
Hold on. This is
the championship.
Folks, this is Carlos's Final Four.
And Auburn. And Tennessee and Auburn.
Oh wow.
Alabama, Tennessee, and Auburn.
Okay, now who's in the championship game?
On the championship, I have Auburn versus Duke. I have Auburn winning 89-81.
Woo! So you like Bruce?
Okay, let's go to the beginning.
Tennessee. Yeah, so I did have him in the Final Four, yeah. And Auburn.
Okay, Alabama, Tennessee. So you did go.
Wow.
So wait a minute. You did not have. Who did you have with that other one? Hold on.
Tennessee and Auburn. Tennessee. I had issues loading that.
Okay. Well, we saw it. So that was your 51st bracket that you sent me. It's okay. I make a bunch of them too.
151st.
Yeah, like your favorite drink, rum 151. I see you. I see you, son. I'm trying to work on the New York accent a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but yeah. So I had Auburn versus Duke. Yeah.
Okay, Auburn, and you got Auburn over Duke.
Yeah,
I've got Duke over Florida. Any thoughts about Florida showing a lot of fight again? I really thought that Texas Tech had them, and I was upset there for a minute. What do you think about that game? That was a great game, man.
See, so these games have been coming down the wire, which is good. And Florida, they did what they had to do, and it won't swallow my tongue, but the SEC put out a lot of good teams, man. They put out a lot of good teams.
They actually lived up to it.
Yeah, and it was good for them. They got a lot of competition in, and with Florida, they rebounded very well from the last few years in the basketball game, and I like the competition and that they're in the dance, but I don't know if they're deep enough, that's my
compared to a Houston or Duke.
Right.
We're going to find out. They play Auburn, don't they?
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. So I feel like with some of these other teams in this Final Four, they can be minimum 6 deep, but Florida, I think it's just 4, and then have guys that play up to the competition.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. You have to play at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what we say; they got to play the game on the court. So,
yeah, I mean, Florida, they could have lost to Connecticut, man. They could have lost in the second round. I thought they were going to lose to Texas Tech, and then big plays late, and that might have been the tightest game. Now, of course, Arkansas, Texas Tech. That's typical of John Calipari coach teams. Blowing leads late, not hitting free throws.
Right. Oh, my God.
Not fouling when you probably should. I mean, but that's how he always – that goes back to the Memphis game against Kansas back in 2008 with Derrick Rose, if you remember that game.
Yeah. And I'm about to say, I was like, that's happened before. That's what it is when you have those kind of players who are fast and think on the fly.
Yeah.
Those kind of simple things go wayside. They're not looking for the easy 2. They're just looking to attack the basket and just, try to get that next score. They're not thinking about that game mentality isn't set up for them because they're not on that level. They're more about action and then reaction instead of just, thinking about breaking it down, So there's not too many people who are like the Jason Kidd game mentality,
right?
Like, go for the 2 or don't worry about the 3, like try to get a foul, try to stop the clock, hold the ball. Like, it wasn't too many guys like that, man. And there still isn't. Great point guard play, something that when you see it, you try to enjoy it because it's not everybody who plays the point guard position that has that mindset, right? Like the Bobby Hurleys, the Jason Kidd, what's this kid from Connecticut? Forget his name, but
the sharpshooter.
Yeah. So it's
oh wow. Was it the guy that they made the movie about, the Spike Lee movie?
Ray Allen.
It was Ray Allen? Because he went to Connecticut, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, Ray Allen. Yeah, those kind of guys.
Yeah. He got game. I love he got game.
Yeah, he got game. Yeah. So those kind of guys who went to college, who were college point guards, So.
I thought it was a shooting, but he might have been a point though. Either way, moving right along, we'll spend 20 minutes on the tournament. I thought that was pretty good. I did my duty there. Jalen Monroe, had a pro day the other day. Has last dinner with Mike Tomlin, some of the management staff there, general manager there as well with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've got the 21st overall pick. Listening to First Draft. This is this podcast with Mel Kiper and Phil Yates, and they were talking about Kiper saying, listen, I mean, this guy, same hand size, same height. Monroe ran a 4.37 at his pro day. Lamar didn't even run a 40, but he's probably in the same range. Lamar's got a 56% completion percentage. Compared to Monroe's, it's like 64. Now, of course, Lamar had better numbers overall. Won the Heisman. Bobby Petrino. Do you think that Pittsburgh? Do you think they'll possibly take a shot on Jalen Monroe with that 21st pick and try to emulate what Baltimore's done around Lamar, or do you think maybe? They're just doing their due diligence, and they're probably going to go elsewhere with the quarterback. And mind you, they still want to get Rodgers in there. And also, listen, Joe Flacco was still the quarterback with the Ravens when Lamar was drafted too. So what's your thoughts on that scenario? It's been kind of a buzz in the news the last few days.
Yeah, and Milroe's also 25 pounds or 20 to 25 pounds heavier than Jaden Daniels. And
is he really? And he runs like that.
And he's
20 rushing touchdowns last year.
He's been compared to Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson, and I don't know if it's a fair comparison yet, but
Jaden's way more accurate as a passer.
Right, his accuracy is a little bit. It needs to be polished up a little bit. But where do you see him going? I don't know if a team and a general manager would take him before the first round's over, even at the bottom. And I say that because this draft is top heavy on defense and O-line guys that
you think so?
Yeah, I mean,
I hear it's big on running back.
Yeah, and so where would you take him?
I think 21 is a guy. I talked about it last night on the program. Lamar, Ozzie Newsome traded back into the first round to get Lamar. Thought that was a little bit of a reach. Turned out to be a great play. Right. I think 21 is not a bad spot to draft Jalen Monroe. If the Pittsburgh – here's my more concern. It's not about me drafting him at 21. Is Pittsburgh spends the most money on defense than anybody in the league, and they don't have the number one defense. It's not as good as Philly, and it's really not as good as Baltimore on a night-by-night basis. Not as consistent as Baltimore. And sometimes they play above their head, And my thing is, will they commit to that level? They drafted the Ravens. Two tight ends in the same draft. Hayden Hurst and, of course, Mark Andrews, who's turned out to be the better player, per se. They've got Freiermuth with Pittsburgh. Draft another tight end. Do the Reed type option. Do a Romy. What's your favorite coach's name? Greg Roman type of coaching to get him started. In the league, to get his feet wet. Could Arthur Smith work the miracles that he did with Ryan Tannehill with the Jalen Monroe? So that just, I think if they went all in, and they need to really turn things over. They're very stale right now. They need to try to cook something new. They need to throw that old Pittsburgh way out. That's like some stale. I just threw away some food just now because I knew it didn't taste good. This chicken Alfredo does not taste good heated up. They need to throw out the way they've been doing things and get in here and commit to Jalen Monroe, even if they bring in Rodgers for a year.
Yeah, that's a long-winded way to say maybe.
I would draft him, but I would say, Mike, you've got to commit here. This organization, you've got to commit to the guy. At least be a year patient with him, and take a chance on him.
Yeah, so
21. I mean, that's not who else you gonna get at 21.
Yeah, I feel like and this is not too far fetched from where I'm going, but I think Pittsburgh is not ready for this guy. And if there's a team that's ready for him, and the way I'm looking at the draft and the way that things are going, I feel like he's a better fit as a Ram. He can sit behind Stafford. He can.
You think? Well, maybe, I don't know.
He can take his time there.
Interesting, right there.
He could take his time there. They have a decent receiving core that he can practice with his accuracy, or he doesn't have to worry too much about his accuracy because they got decent catch. They have a decent O line. So, and that team's always been in the playoffs in the last 3 years. So, they can even maybe make some plays up for him if they want to do running plays and just get him out there in a couple of games without having to make him a starter and force him to learn a huge playbook or their playbook or whatever they do there. So, and I don't really like to say this much about this guy, but the coaching staff there, the head coach McVay, he's okay. He's helped. He's not hindered.
I think he would alternate his offense that much and be like an Andy Reid type.
I think he's ready to understand that this league is very flippant, very is not the way that he was brought up in, and I feel like if there's anybody that would shift a little bit from what they're doing, it would be McVay, and the quarterback that he needs in the future is sitting there at 26. You grab him.
That's interesting. Well, you know what? I'll save that. I will definitely remember that and go back and find it. Yeah, Joe Milton signs with Dallas. That tells me, Chad, that Jerry Jones is just he makes it up as he goes. Whatever happened to Trey Lance? I don't even remember them releasing Trey Lance. Remember they traded for Trey Lance.
He's still there because this guy, he's in another team. What's his name? The Mr. Reliable. What was their backup name? Cooper Rush. Cooper.
Yeah, he's not there anymore.
He left to go to New Orleans, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's okay. I like that.
This is the indictment on Joe Milton. Is a guy that's good for. He's like a Harlem Globetrotter. He looks like he can show off his huge arm, but when it comes to an actual game, it's more about showboating and not actually getting things done. He had one great game. I don't think he's going to amount to anything.
If he has to throw a Hail Mary, and it doesn't have to be that accurate.
At the end of the half, maybe, yeah.
CeeDee Lamb's one of the best at making bad throws look good. So
that's true.
That's not really
kind of a sideshow, but that's typical Jerry Jones. Here's their depth chart, guys. Dak Prescott, Joe Milton, just newly acquired. I think they switched out some 7th-round picks or whatever. And Will Greer. And this is the same week that Jerry Jones said that he don't know who, although this guy's well known around the league, he don't know who the agent is for Michael Parsons. And he's wanting to just negotiate with Michael Parsons by himself because Michael Parsons apparently wants $40 million a year. I mean, it's going to get worse before it gets better with Jerry Jones.
I mean, but you can't.
Thank you, Chad.
Robert, it's not that he's not deserving of that, though. He's been an all-pro every year he's been on field, man. Like, if they don't win games, it's not because of him. It's a
Mm.
combination of is the team that's surrounding him. Like, you might be able to put 1 or 2 games. I don't think so. I can't even say that. You can't put the whole game on this guy. He's done his job. He's led the league in some of these statistics, or he's at least in the top 5 in defensive statistics. So I mean,
Yeah.
I
was looking at his. I Google search Micah, and it says Cowboys. The owner Jerry Jones doesn't see urgency with Parsons' extension. Of course, he's going to say that. He wants us to drag this out. He'll pay him $42 million. He just wants us to keep talking about the Dallas Cowboys and keep them in the news. Keep that. They're their number 1 brand in the world. I was talking to this guy from Texas. He's a huge European soccer fan, and he was telling me about Madrid. And I said, "Listen, man, you're from Dallas, brother." He said, "I'm not a huge American football fan." I said, but the most valuable franchise in the world over those soccer teams is the Dallas Cowboys. He promotes them. He knows how to keep them in the news. He being Jerry Jones. I just get a sense. I said this even before. I know a lot of the national people are saying this, that this is starting to be the later years of Al Davis, where he's just going to do crazier and crazier stuff. He's over 80 now. Kind of sounds like a former president a little bit, but he's doing crazier and crazier stuff, and nobody's there to stop him.
Right.
I wish Steven could talk to him, but Jerry, he's not going to talk to anybody. When he dies, they'll win a Super Bowl. Not to be mean and morbid, but this is going to get worse before it gets better with Jerry Jones. What happened to Trey Lance, man? They just cut Trey Lance in the middle of the night. He's not even on the roster anymore.
Did they cut him?
Remember, they traded for him.
Yeah, they traded for
a
him
few years ago.
They might have demoted him to the practice squad.
Maybe because he's not on. He is. It still says Dallas here, but he's not on. Have departed in free agency to the Ravens in the CFL Rough Riders. So you can't make this stuff up, man. Let me look at
where's Waldo?
It just kind of slid up under the radar, And I was really surprised about Trey Lance. So many teams missed on him.
Well, I feel like
Cooper Rush is a Raven, actually. That's really odd. But good organizations make good moves. I want the best for the Cowboys. I don't want nothing bad to happen to Jerry Jones, but you got to call balls and strike. Do you think they're going to win 10 games next year with paying 3 players like that?
Not at all. I think the Cowboys, Jets, and the Giants will be looking at picking like 4, 5, and 6.
Do you think possibly the Giants could finish better than the Cowboys next year?
No.
Okay.
They made positive moves with quarterbacks. You got 2 quarterbacks. You got?
Yeah.
No quarterback. And even if they
if Dak can play 16 games, I think they'll finish ahead of the Giants. But
I think the Giants will probably win 6 games, maybe 7. But
yeah,
I don't think
Dallas may win 6 too, or 5. I like Micah, but you want to pay him $42 million?
No, I don't want to pay him. It's the fact of the matter is that his value is there. He's not asking. He's not overvaluing himself. He's probably about right. But the problem is that his value is in the right place, but the team is not on the same page as him.
He keeps saying that he's not
that he want to stay.
He doesn't want to beat this crazy amount of money. Chad says Alexa says Lance is at Dallas. She probably wrong. Yeah, Alexa's all jacked up, man. So I've been doing this Google AI. He's free agent, Chad. Lance. It happened during when everything was happening, and we know Dallas is irrelevant. That it just, they hired Brian Schottenheimer as their head coach. What does that tell you?
That's like
like the last dude they could think of.
I can't say nothing because the Giants had him.
I don't know if he's got that many All Pros, man. I mean, I like Micah, but I don't. Would you compare him to a Myles Garrett? He's not good at stopping the run. I think
they're two different players. But he's not.
He's 2-time first-team All-Pro, and that was 2 years ago. But he made the Pro Bowl from 21 to 24. Yeah, Buckus Award winner in 21. I mean, Rookie of the Year in 21. First-team All-Pro 21-22. Has not made first print. He made second team in 23. He did not do nothing last year. Did he get hurt last year? Must have got injured. Yeah. I like him. He's lived up to that 12th pick, and Jerry's not going to let him go. They're going to pay him an insane amount of money. It's going to happen. I mean, death and taxes and Jerry Jones paying his star, that is guaranteed in life. He's going to pay. I told you he would pay CeeDee Lamb. He would pay Dak Prescott. I knew even then he was going to pay Zeke Elliott, even though Elliott had 2 years left on his contract.
That was a loaded contract.
I mean, of course, it turned out to be bad, but,
right.
I don't even take Dallas serious. It's going to get worse before it gets better, Chad. It's unfortunate, but it's just that's the way love goes. Let's see. What else did I send you there, Chief Quimby? They're talking about banning the tush push. That's going to come to vote in May. What are your thoughts? Keep the tush push or not keep the tush push?
Just keep doing it until it's not legal. And I've listened. I mean, every team can try to do it. It's not only one team's good at it. And they're not going to be – I don't feel like they're going to stay good at it because eventually people make adjustments and – eventually your O-line is going to change as well. Like it's so, is it that much of an advantage where they would still kick field goals instead of doing a tush push when they should? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's.
So you would be okay with keeping it?
If it's around, it's around. I mean, it's not.
So you don't think it's a rugby play or it's out of the line, and that's what the Green Bay people were saying.
I mean,
they're the one that introduced the ban,
right? And I just feel like they're not good at it. They tried it, and they don't even have a quarterback that can succeed in doing it, so they complain about it. But I think that most of the teams that do complain about it are the ones that are like not good at it. So, I just don't feel like it changes the game that much, right?
Yeah.
Like there have been times where they weren't a few times that they weren't successful with the tush push, that they went ahead and kicked the field goal. So, it's not.
Well, if you miss the tush push, it's on fourth down. It's a change of possession.
Yeah, but they've gone a couple times where they
went to it on third down.
Yeah. So, and they don't, and they learned that that's not a good option for them. But like, it's I don't know. Like,
I mean,
what I've heard in the past for some people who are football people is like it takes away from when a running back gets that far and then they're less likely to get the ball again because they're in the tush push and then they don't score because like it's more about that. Like when they're like really into the 3 to 5 yards, like in that area that it's like. It takes away from the game and things like that. But look, if you can do it and be successful, then it's there. If you can't do it and you're not successful, you're going to complain about it that you can't do it. Yeah.
If you really look at Philadelphia, I watched a few replays today on YouTube, and it doesn't really look like that they're pushing. If you look at it closely, that the receiver or running back behind Jalen Hurts are really pushing him ahead. It looks like that we know he can squat 600 pounds.
Right.
He's got a lot of leg drive. They've had great play at the center position with Jason. And, of course, even the guy that's replaced him, it looks like a quarterback sneak. It's really overstated, if you ask me.
Right.
And plus, I mean, a lot of the owners and even the commissioner said, listen, there's no real data of injury related to the tush push.
You know, I like,
so
I like this because they're not talking about the dang field turf anymore. Like,
yeah, they usually talk about that every year, don't they?
Every year. This is the first year they're not talking about it because they got something.
Well, nobody does AstroTurf anymore, do they?
The field turf, yeah. There's they still do not everybody plays on grass. Which is they want everything to be like everyone play on grass, but
I think all that's overstated. I mean, it used to be
there's
bad
actual studies on that though. That's the worst part. That's the boo-boo by the NFL and the owners. There's actual studies that the turf field is not good on athletes and their knees. So, you know, like
on camera. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm cool with it. I can understand some people saying, well, you're not supposed to touch another player and push them ahead. This is not football. But it doesn't look like that. I think the Eagles can still be successful. It's just a glorified quarterback sneak.
When a wide receiver grabs his running back that's running towards the 1-yard line and pulls him towards as far as he can towards the first down marker, that's not legal?
It should be illegal.
I've
seen that play.
But everybody who's blocking comes off their blocker and pulls their running back or their tight end closer to the 1-yard marker. So, I mean,
I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about like the sometimes the receiver will grab the running back who's blocking in front of him and kind of just use him like.
No.
You're saying actually pick him up and like push him over.
Yeah, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers.
That's so rare, though. I mean,
they grab each other all the time trying to
get
towards the 1-yard marker.
Nah, you're right. I don't think that should be. I mean,
so it's like,
no.
Come on, it's much ado about nothing. And look, it's garnered some kind of like viewership. People talk.
Somebody will eventually come up and stop it. Somebody put out a picture of this guy that's from Florida, his defensive tackle, and I think I reposted it. He's like 470 pounds. I'm like, that's the kind of guy you put in on the tush short yardage situation.
Wait, did they
stop the tush push?
Right. Did they ever say, hey, Refrigerator Perry can't run the ball because he's an O lineman?
Right.
Or D lineman?
D lineman.
Right. D lineman. Like, no, it was just like these are like small.
Maybe he was an O line. I thought he was.
No, he was defensive lineman. He was defensive.
Yeah, okay.
And these things happen these kind of trick plays, and they happen all the time. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm cool with it. I hope they keep it. I think that's just envious of. I mean, it's kind of sounds like some sour grapes out of the
That's exactly what it is.
Packers, if you ask me. Anyways, let's see. Oh, Deion Sanders signs an extension. Remember, I tell you what, I have to admit I was wrong. I was almost guaranteed he was going to take a job either at Florida State or Florida or somewhere else. In Colorado, he did not do that. They didn't fire their coach. But I was almost for sure because his sons are left and they're going elsewhere. One's going to the pros, one might not. What are your thoughts about the extension? Did you say he was going to sign an extension to stay there?
I said that he was going to do what he wanted to do, and going in the NFL wasn't something that he was looking to.
Right. I was less likely that he was going to do the NFL.
Yes, and
I heard what he said. He don't like to deal with the NFL players.
Right, like he knows. I think he's smart enough, man, to understand that he still has pull and can get respectability from the young kids looking up to him. Whereas in the NFL, even if people say they respect his game, they're not going to look up to him and listen to him. They're just going to nod their head and be like, all right, I'll do that. All right. And so it's a different type of atmosphere in the NFL when you're dealing with men among men, and then when you're dealing in college with, young men that are becoming men. It's just two different worlds. So, and a guy like Deion Sanders, his teachings, his coaching, his ability to help young men become men, to try to create a esprit de corps, to create that kind of culture. You can't do that in the NFL with men. And for instance, and I'm not making this an issue about Michael Parsons, but Michael Parsons walks in and it's like, hey, Dion, you're part of the coaching staff, or you are the coach. I want $40 million. Like, or even the agent makes that phone call. Like, you don't get that in college. Now, people talk about NIL and stuff, but it's in different regards, in a sense where they're not playing football for the NIL. They're getting NIL because they play football. So it's two different, like it's a different thing. So
well, some kids, that's what you got to figure out. And going back to that Jalen Monroe thing, we don't know how much heart he's got, like a Lamar Jackson. How much desire does this guy play football because he wants to be better at football, or does he play football to see what football can do for him? Is it more about what you can do? When you said that, there are players who just want the money. Right. They don't really care about getting better. They just want to get the quick buck. And I get it. They grew up really hard and poor. I grew up hardcore poor. I can understand that side of the things. Not everybody's in their craft and wanting to be better. And grow.
Yeah, but you're sitting in University of Colorado and you've made it relevant. He's relevant.
Oh, I love it. I think it's great.
Awesome.
It's a big thing. And he made another good point, too. Let me get your opinion on this. He says the spring game should be against a different opponent. People would show up. He actually put a proposal in to do one with Syracuse. I thought it was a great idea. I'd love to see a Tennessee and Ohio State go at a spring game or something like that. I think it'll spice up the spring. I thought about you get some real viewers. But people's going to be paranoid about injuries and nobody wants to do it. But I think it's awesome. What are your thoughts about doing a spring break and really pumping it up, playing the opponents against each other?
Yeah, most sports,
different opponents instead of playing against your own team.
Most sports in colleges play spring team, play other opposite teams, different divisions. Also, in
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so and women's
they used to play each other.
No, if I'm talking about other sports,
okay, gotcha.
No, I'm not talking about So
because the football's so freaking.
Yeah, it's always like red against white, orange against white. Your defense versus your offense. Yeah. So I don't understand why it can't be different. And I think Dion has a point. Like they're losing games to practice how to play and how to get everything going. To play one or two games, even if it's 2 quarters, right? Like not a full game, just 2 quarters. You play a full game, but you play 2 quarters against Syracuse and you play 2 quarters against Purdue or some other team.
Man, that'd be nice.
And that's it. And
that'd be a nice TV product, wouldn't it? In the middle of the spring.
Yeah, it just gets everybody focused and tuned that the season's real now. You playing somebody else. Mm-hmm. And so it just gets your mind ready, your mindset and focus. It centers your focus, man. When you play against your offense and your defense, it's you banter, there's a little bit of competition. It's a little bit edgy, but it's not the same thing. When you play against somebody else, then you're like, wait a minute, they bringing it, so now I got to bring it.
These scrimmages in the NFL are drawing bigger crowds in training camp nowadays. Now, a lot of times there's fights in them,
right?
They become pretty interesting,
Right. And when these teams share those competitions, it gets their focus better. But the preseason game, there's no preseason game because of that. So they have
to. Says it was too late for this year. I really hope that they come around because you can make some money off that.
And then you know what? And it's not. I ain't gonna say that's Dion thinking this, but you can go in there and convince other students that next season you should come to this school.
Mike Gundy mentioned it as well. The coach of Oklahoma State. I mean, I'd be all for it. Those spring games are kind of boring. I mean, I watched 2 or 3 highlights. Just if you got a new quarterback on your team. When Nico was with Tennessee, I was watching to see what he looked like, and man, I know he's got a strong arm. Yeah,
I watched the Penn State game, the Rutgers. Like here, the Big East is on 2 channels on Saturday. So and you don't got to pay for them. But I've seen Rutgers, the scarlet and white game. I've seen Penn State play the white and blue game, and
it's like a new low. It's like a sports low if you admit you watch spring games.
I mean, but you got
but I
that.
have
They don't play them on prime time. They play them from like 11 or 1
in the middle
o'clock.
of the day. Yeah,
Eastern time. So you still got revving up for a good, a good baseball game, or like, maybe a NASCAR race or something. Like, you got to do something. Yeah. Maybe Wimbledon, or like, something like maybe a tennis tournament or something.
Okay, so we talked about the tush push. Yankees are knocking the cover off the ball. This MIT, I don't know if professor or whatever, but MIT comes up with these torpedo bats, are as of right now perfectly legal. It doesn't work for everybody. And Aaron Judge is what I read. He doesn't use these torpedo bats. What's your thoughts on that? Should they be banned? Are you in favor of keeping them? I love it so far.
Bro, I mean, listen, it's like the whole steroid thing. You can pump steroids throughout your whole body, but if you can't hit the baseball, the steroids really isn't that impact.
Do you think maybe they should bring steroids back?
I was just saying this. So this bat, if you can hit the ball, then you might get an extra base hit. If you're a home run hitter, you was gonna hit a home run. It just goes a little bit further. Like, you gotta understand that they've been messing with the baseball.
Because it doesn't work for everybody.
No, and Lindor, who
didn't work for Minnesota
on the Mets, has a torpedo bat, and he was like 0 for 11.
Who does? Who's
Francisco Lindor?
He
was 0 for 11 for the first.
So he don't like the torpedo bat.
It doesn't. He wasn't hitting the ball, so it didn't matter. Like, if you're not hitting the ball, it doesn't really matter. Like, at the end of the day, you still have to hit the ball. You still have to have that mechanic for that tool to work for your, and for that to even work. And can we just really acknowledge and be honest that the Brewers stuck it up for 3 games and their pitching staff really isn't that great? Can nobody see that? Or is it just like, the Yankees are hitting it with the bat? They
led the league in home runs last year without it.
Yeah, they were gonna hit the ball no matter what. That's how
I like those games that are like 24-8. Like, a lot of the fans get those balls,
That coaching staff
for the fans.
That coaching staff and that managerial team in Milwaukee stunk it up for the first 3 games. They didn't do what they were supposed to do. They didn't want to put guys out there knowing that they had a whole week of baseball to play. Like, it's okay, fine. You stink. You got beat. It's not because you got a bat that's different this year. The thing is that it still weighs the same. It's still the same length. So you
know how particular baseball is. They looked at that forwards, backwards, and sideways.
Do you know how frustrating it is to hear this? And like 2 seasons ago, guys started going to a knobless bat and nobody said anything. People were like, well, he's just got a different funny looking bat. It doesn't have a knob. Like, look, it's part of the game. If you want to get on that train, get on it. You're not cheating. If you don't want to get on the train, stop bickering. Just go with it.
It's not a cork in the bat.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if you got a team that's stinking it up, you're gonna get smacked around, regardless of what tools you're using. There's gonna be teams that are gonna run.
Everybody has the option of using it. It's not like I'm using it and you're not using it.
Right. And look, there's gonna be teams that are gonna be loading bases and slowly gonna be dragging players in. There's going to be teams that smack the ball harder than you've seen in a lifetime. There's going to be teams that don't even hit the ball, and it just, to me, it's just like, to make it about the bat when it really isn't that the bat is a great tool. It's the fact that that pitching staff was horrible. That managerial staff did a piss poor job in setting up the Brewers to try to win games.
Yeah.
I've sat here and Cortez, one of the pitchers that had a bad game, I've sat here and said he's not a starting pitcher. Me as a person watching him from all the years I've seen him play, I think he can maybe pitch 3 good innings.
So he's a
he
he's
should
a reliever.
He should be a middle relief pitcher.
Middle relief.
You need to had an argument with Keith. Oh, well, he needs to he needs to at least pitch 8 innings. I'm like, Keith, the guy is only good for 3 innings, pitching really well. Like, do these teams stretch some of these.
Yeah, I don't know why pine tar is illegal. I think pine tar should be all that should be legal. Maybe everything but steroids.
They have rosin.
I kind of think maybe they should go to aluminum bats, but that might be a one step too far. But they do it in college.
What's this guy's name who's got stuff all over his clothes and in his hat and he pitched?
Okay, that's supposed to be illegal.
He pitched a no hitter against the Mets in the playoffs. What's this guy's name? I'm so upset about it. I can't even remember his name.
Oh, I remember that.
And they're like, no, there's nothing wrong. Like you can see stuff all over. You can see him sweating. He got all
the guy for the Phillies?
No, from the Padres.
Oh yeah. It
was and he's dripping he's looking all greasy like
what's wrong with pine tar? That's just an NFL player got in trouble. If Pickles was on here, he would know. He got in trouble for using in the 70s this sticky glue stuff on his hand. But now the gloves are made like a stickum, with Odell Beckham with that catch. I mean, like how he mentioned that the other day.
Right.
But that great catch he made against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football.
They
probably don't make that catch with these special gloves that they have out now.
Pam used to have a contract with some teams. They would send them boxes of non-stick, and the guys would spray them on their jerseys. So the NFL players, they
couldn't tackle them.
Yeah, so they
you smell like Pam while you're running around.
No, I mean, look,
anything to win.
That's the question. Does it give you a competitive edge? No, I mean, if you can hit the ball, maybe. If you don't hit the ball, doesn't matter.
Part of me thinks they should just make all this legal except for maybe steroids. And
look, I mean, and the worst part about
know what? I read on the internet a few months ago, about a year ago, that there was a possibility of a league being started with just everybody being on steroids. It was like a pro league. I can't remember if it was football, baseball, but it says like just everybody be on steroids and see what it's like.
Testosterone, so kind of testosterone.
I don't know if I think it was Elon. It might have been. I think it was either Elon Musk or the guy who started UFC, Dana White. Somebody who's talking about it was serious about it, but they was kind of halfway joking, halfway serious about it.
Because it's a huge liability then. Because if something happens, cardiac arrest or something, they'd be like, well, they're promoting the use of anabolic steroids.
And then you've got kids watching it. It just wouldn't be good. But for us guys that just like to see the action, maybe, I don't know. Nah, I'm feeling guilty. Lord, forgive me.
I mean, look, but again, and people, a lot of fans don't realize, but teams, they still warm up the ball. The baseball's changed so much in the last 10 years. It's not even
in the last 3 years.
Like, it's, yeah.
I love it, man.
So
I wish they'd start the season earlier.
These kind of things, it's just so
jacked up league. I think that's what it's called, Chad. Yeah, I wouldn't make it that. I heard I have to look into it.
But. So jacked up, you can't move your neck. You just got to turn your head.
People will watch it, man. It's just hard to get some of this stuff on TV.
I just can't see a quarterback not be able to hit his head on his swivel, and he's just got to be like, I have to turn my body because I can't turn my neck.
There's a lot of guys that were bodybuilders that are terrible at football.
That's
Terry Crews. He
wasn't
that good a football player. He's a great actor, funny guy.
Don't mistake it. Just because you're big and muscular doesn't mean you'll be a good athlete. You might look like a good athletic person, but those are two different things. Athletic and muscular they go hand in hand, but they're not. I don't think you can have without the other when you're playing this, and you can't, and you have to have different physiques for different sports too, like.
I believe I'm 110% with you.
Both of us are under 6 foot. We're not, as much as we love to play basketball, we was never going to touch an NBA basketball court.
Right.
So as good as we could be, as good as we have our days, and like maybe we could shoot the heck out of it, that wasn't going to put us on the basketball court, man. And then
you got anything else you need to plug, man?
I'm just ready for the season to be getting wrapped up. Tomorrow's opening day for the Mets here in Citi Field.
Oh, are you going to the game?
I will be at the park for a few minutes.
Who are they playing tomorrow?
They will start playing the Toronto Blue Jays. I will be at the game on Sunday. Sunday's the game I'm going. Sunday. I'm not going this Friday, but I'm going on Sunday. So
Hopefully it won't get rained out, man.
Ah, man, what are you doing that for?
Well, I'm just saying it's raining here. Our weather people saying it's going to get pushed out by the end of the weekend. May push up your way, brother.
Yo, no, we've been having some cloudy skies and a little bit of rain here and there, and it's not been such a fun sunny spring week, but we've had a little bit of sun here and there too as well, so we can't complain.
Well, I like to see him get it together. I know the Braves got off to a slow start. It's 162 games.
Yeah,
it's not 7 games. I know Dodgers are just really hot right now to start, but
just wait to May. That's when
it's usually when the Mets pick it up about middle of May.
Yeah, that's when the Dodgers start getting their yearly
injuries. They're fun. All right, Mad New Yorker, man, appreciate you coming on. Let me get the crowd here. Thank you, Chad, by the way. Not worthy. All right, buddy. I'll see you later. And
enjoy those games
next Thursday. Enjoy. Yeah. Great tournament games coming on this weekend. We'll be talking about that next week. Thanks, man. Everybody, and again, I'll be back here on next week here Wednesday. May have a guest here. I'll give you a heads up ahead of time. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night again. Thanks again, Chad. I'll see you again here on The Real Sports.